Hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today I am joined by the effervescent Coach Vic.
Hello, hi, I'm here with Coach Bob.
You can tell that Coach Vic is a little nervous because I have not prepped her or told her what we're going to do. I simply said, get all gussied up, meet me in the driveway, we're going to do a video. Yes. I've received in excess of 100 emails in the last 3 weeks pertaining to aging riders and touring, and the wife touring, and what it feels like, the big miles. Now, we did a video a year ago, and I'll see if I can drop a link of Pillion's perspective. But since then, things have changed dramatically. We put in big miles. We've done coast to coast. We've done hot weather. We've done cold weather. We've done 600 plus mile days. We've done 50-mile days, and everything in between, in rain, and you name it, we've done it. Vic's perspective is way, way different. We got some sirens going off in the distance. They're coming to get you.
I'm not gonna tell them what I did.
She's a bad person.
Yes, I am.
Let's do a little talking. So I'm gonna ask Coach Vic a few questions, and she's gonna off the cuff just answer them. So no. Coach Vic, the first thing I want to ask you is this. You get on the Spyder in the morning and it's 5:30, it's dark and it's cold. You have your coffee in your little cup holder over here, right there, the little cup holder that we got from Lamonster, and you traveled the day before and you're tired. What are your thoughts when you're getting on the motorcycle that morning? How do you feel? Is it worth it? And what kind of emotional things are you going through? What are you thinking about?
Well, I'm ready for another adventure. I'm not tired anymore. The night before, if I go on a long trip, I'm not tired anymore. I'm ready to get up and see where the day is going to take us. I just enjoy riding. We've done the trip, we rode like 11 days. Every morning I was excited to get up and go for a ride. I didn't hurt, I didn't feel tired, I was just ready for the day. And the days I had was cold, yeah, it was cold, but got over that really quick. Exhilarating, I like riding, it was nice.
But specifically with the Spyder, you get on the Spyder, you've ridden on other machines before. We rode on the Harley for years. You certainly did your thing riding motorcycles when you were a young lady. How does the Spyder lend itself to big days? I mean, big days, 500 and 600 mile days.
Well, like I said, riding on the Spyder, I say I don't get tired. I mean, I do, you do get tired some, but I enjoy riding it. When we get on it and go around the neighborhood, when we get on the Spyder to go for day trips around here, I'm ready to keep on going. I don't want to come home.
So what would you say to the lady that goes, you know what, I really am not interested in riding on the back of a motorcycle. I don't want to deal with it. Is there any words of encouragement for those people or those who are sitting on the fence? Is there anything that you could think of to encourage people to get out and live that adventure so that they could enjoy this thing that we're enjoying, and we really are enjoying it?
I say at least give it a try. At first I was like, that's kind of a weird machine to ride, but once I got on it, it was fun, and I'll say the word exhilarating again. It's an adventure. If you're getting older and you want to live your life and have excitement in your life, this has provided it. I'm riding on the back, my husband's driving, Coach Bob, and we get to have company together, we can talk together, and I just enjoy being out in the elements, out in the the fresh air, and seeing life as it is, feeling it and living it. I am not afraid to be on this. I'm not afraid, I'm not scared. It's just been a great year riding. And I'm glad that we actually got the Spyder so we can go out together and go for rides. So I'm very, very excited about it.
Here's the next question. So we're driving and we're doing a 600 mile day, or we'll just say this, a 500 plus mile day. Does it take any sort of special mindset, any sort of special fitness level? What do you think in order to do the 500 and 600 mile days? What does it take other than being maybe just a little bit crazy?
Not only do you have to be a little bit crazy, you gotta be a little bit psycho. I say you have to have, I call it guts. Not to be afraid, you gotta have endurance. You gotta be able to focus and have mental toughness. Just be willing to take what comes at you each day. You're sitting on the back for miles and hours at a time. You gotta have endurance, you gotta have strength. Our first trip we went out, I did some working out before we went, so I really didn't feel bad on it. And then we went on a couple day weekend trips after that, and I wasn't really working out, and I can feel it. So now I've been prepping for this trip. The main thing is you need to be able to focus and have endurance.
So are there times when you're riding that you just, in your brain, you're going, just get me off of this thing?
Are there times? Yes, there are times. There are times where I've thought about, why am I doing this? This is just torture right now. It's just so hot or so cold, or I'm just so tired. But like I said earlier, if you can have the endurance and you can just take your mind and just mentally focus and just get through it and have that toughness, you can get through it.
Is it fun though?
Yes, it's fun. It reminds me of the years that I would wheelchair race and do a marathon. It would have all the fun, the pain, the
Emotional ups and downs.
emotional ups and downs. But when you cross that finish line, you've accomplished something. So I know when I go for long rides on the Spyder, even 500 mile days or 600 mile days, which is insane because it's a long way, I've accomplished something, and that accomplishment for me feels great.
So to give everybody a little perspective, last year we did, on our trip out west, we did a 640 mile day, a 590 mile day, a 560 mile day, and a 409 mile day, roughly. Those 4 days took us from Tallahassee to San Diego, California. We were looking at the Pacific Ocean in 4 days. When we came back, we spent a little more time on the road. We spent some time with friends, but overall, we only spent like 11 days on the road. We crossed the continent twice. So we did put in big miles. I felt as a driver, as a rider, for you guys that I've gotten emails from the guys in their mid 60s and early 60s. Can I do it? That's the question that I'm asked a lot. Do you think I can do it? The answer that I have for you, if you want to, you can absolutely do it, but you have to want it. You know, Coach Vic has a shirt that she made. It says, you gotta wanna. You gotta wanna. You gotta want to put in those big days. There are gonna be days where you get up that next morning, you're gonna be beat and you're not gonna wanna go. That is the time where it's most important to get up and do it again. And those, honestly, those days, once you're moving, are normally the most rewarding and the ones you actually feel the best on. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that. And I have something to put in there. I just thought of something. I talk about how I don't really hurt a lot. It doesn't just feel painful for me to ride. I can ride hours and hours, but I am paralyzed from the waist down, so I can't feel pain in my legs or my feet. So if my feet are hurting and my knees are hurting, like Coach Bob, I don't feel that. So I don't have that pain to deal with.
But Coach Vic, now let's back up. Let's back the jet up here a little bit. She deals with different pains.
I have different pain.
Nervous system pains that she contends with that we don't deal with.
And that is painful, but I am able to endure that pain, and it is worth it to go through that to ride on the CanAm.
So our next week or two, we're going to be averaging between 400 and 500 miles every day. Most of the days when we start heading north are going to be 500 plus miles. Once we hit Maine and start coming back, they're going to be mid 400s with maybe a 500 thrown in there to boot. There are going to be some big days. The first 2 days when we head northbound are going to be 500 plus days, 520 and 515, something like that. Those are just days that you just know you're going to be in the saddle all day. Some days can be hot, some days can be cold, some days can be wet. That's just the way it is. We're going to show you a couple of things on the Spyder that we recommend that you do to your Spyder, whether it be the new body style, the 2020, or the 2019 and earlier with the older body style. Focusing primarily on the aging rider and the wife, or the riding partner. Let's just do that. The riding partner, because that person is very important. And how you deal with your riding partner, it can be very difficult to travel with a large group because you and your riding partner have a rhythm. So develop your rhythm and don't be apologetic for how you travel. Whether you travel 200 miles a day or 600 miles a day, you owe no one an apology for doing that. Do your trip, do your thing at your pace. What are your thoughts on that? What if somebody said, Coach, I wanna ride with you, but you go too fast. Would you want to slow down?
If we're going on a mission to get from point A to point B, I wouldn't want to.
Okay,
or we would probably tell them, this is what we're doing. If you can ride with us, then you can ride with us.
Right.
You would have to talk about that ahead of time.
So Remember that, you know, when you start planning a trip, when you're saying we have to hang on kind of thing. And if you're tired, don't be upset and go, hey man, I'm tired. You know, you guys are gonna have to go on without me. I can't do 500 a day. Don't ever feel bad about that. Be safe, ride your ride. Enjoy your ride. We enjoy ours. All right, so
let's talk about the armrest.
So let's talk about if Coach Vic had one thing on the Spyder that she would say, this is the absolute most invaluable thing, the piece of equipment that you have to have if you're doing the 500-600 mile days. One thing that you have to have, this is what she would say.
Say the armrests. They're comfortable, you can relax, and they actually give me a sense of security. Gotta have them.
You know, there are many times when we're going around that curve, I hear Coach Vic go, whoa! You know, and those right there really do afford her security. You know, you've got this concave backrest, but this, man, having a place to put her arms and be able to lean to the left and lean to the right. There have been times, and I was talking to a buddy of mine today, that Vicky, honestly, that I think that she might say, nah, it wasn't that bad. Where she was feeling a little lightheaded or red-faced or got too hot, and I'd feel that helmet going clunk, clunk, clunk. It's like, are you going to sleep? And she's like, I think I'm going to sleep, but it could be passing out. It's time to stop. And so we'll do that. These offer that little extra security. So I think for anyone that's traveling big miles, these are a definite must. Not only for comfort, but I would say for safety in the event that you do have a real struggle, a hard day.
And number two, the water bottle holder.
Okay, number two, Coach Vic says the water bottle holder. Let's go over here and check it out.
I love having water, and I love having my coffee in the morning. And this works really, really well. I wanted something really pretty and fancy. It's not real pretty and fancy, but you know what? It works, it's functional.
So what you're telling me is you don't have to break the piggy bank in order to get something to carry your water?
No, but I could put some little thingies on it if I want to.
You could.
But no, this works very well.
Okay.
No, you don't have to break the bank. Like Coach Bob's, he did, and his didn't work.
Armrests.
Water bottle.
Water bottle.
And floorboard risers, yes. You gotta have somewhere to put your feet to be comfortable. And these go up and down to fit your height. Mine's all the way up.
Yeah. Now, understand that the top of the normal floorboard would sit about right there, and that's where Coach Vic's leg used to sit, way down there. Now we have lifted this all the way to the top and then extended it inches, another 4 inches higher than it normally sits. Because she's short.
5'2".
And the truth is, you may not know this, she also happens to be paralyzed. And so her feet, the way her feet sit and the pressure that it puts on her legs and her spine. If you ever watch a couple ride on a Harley Davidson, the lady's legs are up high. In fact, the knees are above the hips on a lot of the Harleys. And so to get their feet up, it really does take a lot of pressure off of their lower back, and it makes the ride a lot more enjoyable. So people can say all they want, oh, you don't need the floorboard risers. And we've had several people tell us, you don't need those. It's a waste of time. They're adjustable. Huh. Well, that's great. But you know what? If your wife's 5'2", with a 28 or 29 inch inseam, she may need floorboard risers. And don't be reticent or about getting them and checking them out and trying them. I got these from CanAm Spyder Accessories, and Pierre got them here really quick, and they've worked great. This was the floorboard risers were through CanAm Spyder Accessories. This was through Lamonster, and this was a BRP part that I ordered off of Amazon.
Another accessory.
What do we need? What do you need?
You gotta have this, a hitch for a trailer to put all your belongings in. Yeah. I need it for the wheelchair, but ladies, if you pack heavy, have your husband get a trailer so you can pack all your stuff, because the trailer doesn't cause any problem while you're riding in it. I
will tell you, the trailer, if I was traveling the country alone, I would more than likely pull the trailer. I don't really need to. I'm not saying that I definitely would, but I probably would. I really am not afraid to do 700-800 miles in a day. I'm not. I'll just be honest with you. Coach Vic doesn't want to do those kind of miles.
We've never done mine if it's just for a day or two, which is like a day trip.
I am not reticent about doing the big mile days. I'm not. And it doesn't really wear me out any more than anything else. So big miles on the Spyder for an aging rider, mental toughness is where it has to be. You have to have that focus. So let me describe our riding day and our rhythm.
But if you can't do 500 in one day, start off with 2 or 3, work your way up. The thrill of going 500 and 600 miles, just to say you did it and finished it, it's worth it because it's a great accomplishment.
I'm going to tell you an easy distance for a Spyder rider, an easy distance. You're gonna, and there are going to be those who are like, that's a long way. 400 is very, very easy. And let me explain why. I'm going to tell you how we break up our riding day right now. And then this is what we do every day, day in, day out. So we get up in the morning, we get on the Spyder, we shoot our little opening scene, which looks like this. Hello, friends. Coach Bob and Coach Vic with you this morning, blah, 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 right? We do that. And then we get on the Spyder and we ride anywhere from 120 to 180 miles. It just depends on how the breakup of cities are, right? But you can do 100 miles easily. 100 miles first thing in the morning. By the way, start early. Start early every single day.
5 or 5:30 in the morning, yes.
If you can do that, I'm gonna tell you, lose an hour in the morning, you'll be looking for it all day.
Gotta start early in the morning.
Start early. So we get up early, we're on the road, we do that 150-ish mile mark. We take a break, we stop. Sometimes we're at the gas station 15 minutes. That would be a minimal, by the way. 15 is the shortest it would ever be. Sometimes we're there an hour and 15 minutes. It depends. It depends on how we feel. It depends on the energy level that day. It depends on people. It depends on a lot of things. We may just have conversations for an hour.
Right.
You know?
Or just want to sit and drink an icy
and relax.
Relax, yeah.
Then we get back on the Spyder. We do it again. 150 miles. Take another break.
A break.
Do another 150. Take another break. Do another 150. We're at our stop. We're done for the night. That's a 600-mile day. 400-mile day, you could certainly do 100 miles 4 times.
Right.
Guarantee you. That ain't even 2 hours on the bike between every break.
But sometimes I'm like, we don't need to stop. We can just keep on going.
If we didn't need gas,
yeah,
we could easily do big miles. Find your rhythm. How many stops are you going to make? For us, it's 3 stops and then our final stop, so 4 total. That works for us.
Right.
If we're up early at 5:30, you do the math. So we leave at 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. That's 2 hours, 2.5 hours before 8 o'clock. We're stopping.
Right. And it's nice to watch the sunrise.
Do it again, 10:30. We're stopping. Do it again, 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and we're already, 450 miles down the road.
And looking for our destination.
And looking for a destination at this point. And so you can be in your motel room at a reasonable time. You can get there before you can check in.
We have been there early, around 3 or 4, and we've been there as late as 8 some days. But I have learned I like the 3 or 4 o'clock days, no, between 3 and 5. Then there's time to relax and hang out and just enjoy the money you spend on a hotel instead of getting there real late and sleeping and waking up. But yeah, I've enjoyed leaving early to get there at a reasonable time.
Now on the way back from up north, we're going to be doing smaller days, those mid 400 mile days. So our goal is to do 150, 150, and then like a 75, 75. Those make really, really easy days. You can, if you're a 450 mile day, you only have to do 2 stops.
Right.
At the pace that we go out at. So.
And if we go and we realize we're getting there to the hotel too early, we might up it up the next day.
Yeah.
So we have the freedom to do that.
We'll take a detour. We'll look around. We'll hang out somewhere.
Like on the way back, we want to go see a few different things. And as far as food's concerned, we eat very light on the road. We have only coffee and sometimes a bagel for breakfast or a granola bar. And we don't eat lunch. We just eat a bag of chips and a Coke or something. Or some cheese, very, very light, because you don't want to get all stomach heavy and get that lethargic, tired feeling while you're driving.
Now, Coach Vic tells me I have the digestive system of an 8-month-old. In other words, if I eat the wrong things, I have real problems. And so,
well, that too. You want to be.
So you don't want to have stomach issues on the road. It can ruin your trip.
You want to keep it very, very. And I know chips aren't light, but I like the salt.
The small bag. We're not talking about buying a big old giant bag.
Just a little bag of chips or an icy or a small Coke or water. But it's just something like that, and then we get hamburgers or pizza usually for dinner and just splurge in the hotel room. But
I will tell you that on this trip, each of us will lose between 5 and 10 pounds. We do every time we do a big trip. We do. It's just the way it is, because it becomes intermittent fasting, and that's basically what we end up doing. Because I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't eat at all other than supper every evening. I just wouldn't eat at all. Coach Vic, her body needs that gradual food. Me, I just want to ride.
I like the gradual food.
Right. I just want to ride. Hopefully this has given you a little insight, you know, especially for the aging rider again, and the wives or the riding partners, of how it feels to be on the back of these things, because it is a big deal. It is a big deal, and your safety is paramount. You don't want to be riding exhausted. You don't want to be angry. You don't want to be on the back stressed out. You don't want to be driving stressed out. Which leads me to one more thing before we close out, other than make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
Is this. What happens, not that this would ever happen, but Coach Vic, what happens if you have that occasional disagreement?
Turn off your communicator. Just give each other some quiet time, or just hug and say, we're just going to agree to disagree and move on.
Remember this, especially if you've been with someone a long time. 90% of the disagreements, and we'll call them arguments, even though I think that's a strong word. Arguments and disagreements that you have when you're traveling are for one reason, because you're tired. You're grumpy. You snap at somebody, they snap back at you, and that's just how it is. So when Coach Vic says turn that communicator off, turn it off. Don't be rude. Don't be nasty. I'm turning this off. No, don't do that. Say, let's turn our communicators off for the next hour so that we can get our heads together. And don't get mad at each other. And then
just don't hold a grudge.
Right, because
don't hold a grudge anyway, whether you're riding or not. You just don't hold a grudge.
But understand that those moments, we don't argue on the road. I don't think we've ever really had an argument on the road. But
already cut that.
I don't think we've ever really had an argument on the road. It's just one of those things where you'll feel it though. I've seen the mornings where Coach Vic is like, I really don't want to be here. I'm tired. I want to be laying in the bed.
That's every morning.
There was one particular morning when we were coming back from California. I said, Coach Vic's tired today. She's quiet. You see how quiet she is.
Well, it's quiet in the morning anyway. Yeah, especially that morning, but yeah.
And all day she was quiet that day.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's all right. Gentlemen, don't get frustrated with that. I used to think that it was a problem because I would be bored sitting back there where she is.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
I love it. I can listen to the quiet, listen to any talk show I want to listen to, or talk on the phone, or talk to Coach Bob. But if it's quiet for an hour or two, I have no problem with that. It's so noisy at home all the time. I like the quiet.
Well, you know, the idea that we are wired different. Coach Vic and I are wired dramatically different.
For 8 hours. He would talk for 8 hours.
I would.
If he could.
And
non-stop.
And honestly, Coach Vic would probably be quiet and look around for 8.
Yeah, I could.
You know, and so what we have to do is meet somewhere in the middle and allow each other the freedom for her to be quiet and for me to be able to talk. Because you have to both enjoy that experience, and you have to be unselfish with that. So I would say be very sensitive to your riding partner. That is a very, very big deal. So hopefully this has squelched some of your fears and your reservations about the long mileage trips. And I want you to do me a favor until the next time we chat. I want you to go out.
Buy the motorcycle of your dreams.
I surprised her. Eat right.
Take care of yourself.
And remember, if you're not having fun,
you're doing it wrong.
Now, you go seize the day, and we will see you on the road real soon.
And ladies, go get on that CanAm.
Yeah, whether you're driving or whether you're riding on the back.
Go for a ride.
Go for
great.
a ride. All right. We'll see you soon.